right, we're back from executive session where we discussed personnel at 8:07, 5. All right, recommendations out of executive session. The chief has agreed to work under like a contract extension to until we get up to speed on where we're at. And he's also agreed to continue with code enforcement. That was all that was decided in the executive session. And we were discussing an ordinance for the ordinance that for that made the fire marshal job, and we're not supposed to do that back here, so we stopped. All right. So we're picking up with 8 appointments to fill the following positions. Treasurer.
I move that we appoint Sharon at the current pay rate plus an 8% increase. Which comes out to, somebody want to give me the number?
So it's an increase of $1.11.
Okay, we got a motion on the table. Got a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Discussion?
Anybody?
Comments from the public? Nothing? How do you vote?
Doug?
Yes.
Eddie?
No.
Mike?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. I vote yes.
That's the first ununanimous vote we had, and I will make a note right now that dissension is good. That means everyone's participating.
No, I didn't vote to hire him.
Oh, that's right.
See, dissension?
Yeah. Okay. Next is secretary.
I move that we, how do you, one of you guys want to be a secretary? The secretary? Are we naming Sharon as capital S secretary? Or lowercase s as a secretary?
Do we need to, is this the township secretary, board
Township
secretary?
Township secretary.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she has to come to the meetings, and we can still, or does she need to present?
We
guys
should
need to
split
have-
off board and township.
You need to have a capital S secretary to take over to do the duties in the code, which are to take the minutes, keep the minute book. There's only 4 things you gotta do, those few
And
things.
it's like,
I'd say we know.
And that can be a board member,
Yeah.
or that can be the office secretary. You can give that appointment,
Yeah.
title appointment to the office secretary. Give it to her, or one of you guys, or
At,
somebody else wants to do it.
at this,
But that's an appointment for those 4 duties. That's not the office job.
right.
All right, Tammy.
No, let me ask you one thing. We can use the recordings that we're using
Yeah.
to,
I can use the recording to go back and make sure the minutes would be good, or
Correct.
whoever does it.
Yes,
could
you can
the
use the
minutes.
recording. You don't have to take notes with a pen. You can use the
Well, I mean,
recording.
she taking.
I'm taking a couple notes,
Yeah.
like, you
Oh,
know.
no, I'm
Okay.
saying you don't have to, you can use the recording, yes.
All right,
That's-
so what we're gonna say then is, this is the board secretary,
Capital S.
Okay,
Yeah.
capital S
Yes.
secretary.
okay?
Okay,
All right. Who wants to do it?
I'll make motion to make Tammy Imes secretary, capital S secretary for the board.
Second? Can I second?
Sure.
I don't wanna do it, so I'm second. All right, anybody got any problems? Comments? Yeah.
Up there at the beginning, up at C, there was a secretary, and that was Tammy on. Which one was that?
That's the board here.
I thought we were.
Oh, that's what,
We already did it.
Been done, yeah.
Yeah, we already did it.
Okay,
Okay,
So,
Good point, Ed.
thank you, Ed.
so we don't have to do that then?
you already did it.
All right.
You did it twice.
All
You
right.
need to withdraw your motion.
I withdraw my motion.
No, Tammy needs to make 2 sets of minutes.
All right.
I withdraw my motion.
So now we're on the chief, which we already discussed.
Ed,
You gotta go back and do this.
what about the bond? I
Yeah.
and double I, or two?
Oh, those are questions, go ahead.
Yeah, well, the way I understand it, the bond is good until,
For the treasurer.
yeah, for the treasurer, which is now, since we voted, Sharon, right?
Let me ask you a question. Well, I can ask Doug or Dave. You guys didn't have bonds, did you? You were covered by the insurance policy, right?
That's correct.
So we don't really need to, there's no, we just
So the bond is currently.
we just wrote questions down. That was,
I had a question, if as a supervisor, do we need bonded, or is there an insurance policy for
You don't
that?
need bonded.
Okay.
Treasurer
I mean,
needs to be bonded.
You don't touch any money.
I just wasn't sure.
well, we didn't know
if
if they were
signed
signing
checks.
checks or something.
No, you're okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just wanted to make sure,
That's-
because if not.
Was your question answered, Dave?
Yes.
Okay. Go
Is
ahead.
$1 million going to be enough to cover the money that's here at its highest point? I know it fluctuates up and down.
I don't think it's a problem right now.
It's not an issue for a
The
while.
Act 13 in that, and once your real estate money starts coming in that.
I can't,
will
I
they
can't,
cover
foresee-
it?
I can't foresee it exceeding that this year.
That would
At a
be,
point in time, and it might have, but I don't think it would be.
that would be set by the auditors anyway, right?
Yeah, the other supervisors would make a recommendation.
We can make, we can make a recommendation to have them look.
Leave it at
at the
a,
amount, you know what I mean, to see if it needs upped. Because I know at one point, you know, like I said, we may need it to be, I mean, at one point it was higher, so,
Might need to be decreased.
yeah.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, where are we now?
We need to do,
Office secretary?
that's,
We already did that.
And this would be the small S.
that would be the smallest secretary.
Okay.
Who's the office secretary?
You already
You
done
said
that.
you're the board secretary.
Correct?
Yeah.
Who's the office secretary?
That's what we're gonna,
We're gonna do that right
I
now.
thought you said you already did it.
no,
Yeah,
no,
we-
that's, sorry.
Yeah,
Well, it'd be combined with position treasurer,
with
correct?
the treasurer.
Small
right?
S and the treasurer.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so we're gonna say,
I would just make well,
make a
then,
motion, right?
I'm actually gonna make a motion that we make Sharon the small s secretary along with her treasurer position. That's my motion.
Which is currently the position that she has.
Correct.
Yes,
So no change there.
yeah.
Still need to,
You
I have
got
a
a
motion on
second?
the floor.
I second that motion, that make Sharon the secretary of the office.
Okay.
Comment.
Questions, comments, complaints? Going once?
I have a question.
Yeah.
There is January 20th and January 27th. There is training in Canonsburg for either supervisors or secretary treasurers. Is there any chance you guys are gonna send Sharon so she can kind of learn what her job responsibilities are?
I don't have a problem.
120 and 1,
27, and they're in Canonsburg. It didn't give an exact location.
Where did you get that
Is
information?
that with
Kathy?
PSATs?
PSATs, yeah.
I have no problem sending her to that.
I don't either. As long as, you know. as long as-
There's also online training under that Pennsylvania Training Hub that she could,
Yeah. Sometimes
There's
it's
a bunch of
easier to
webinars.
ask questions too, you know, somebody than trying to find the information. We can give her either option.
I
think-
thought the person that just left that position was like transitioning or helping to train her. Was that not right?
I don't have any idea.
I thought somebody said whenever Tammy resigned, she was gonna help to train a new person. Can she help her or not?
I don't
I don't-
know.
I don't,
No, I don't think, not at this point.
4 of us up here are new, Dana.
Okay.
All right.
so we can, yeah, we'll talk to Sharon and see if she can, if not, I know there's a lot of webinars that you can watch. They're every Wednesday. And that's, you know,
Yeah, but like Mike said, you can't ask questions. She'll hear questions that everybody else is asking that she might
Yeah,
not be
we'll check
thinking
into it and
about.
check with
I
her
mean,
and see how,
with the
can,
webinar,
I appreciate that.
they do a
Yes.
question and answer type thing. They're every Wednesday, so, but we'll definitely look into this for her and see if she's willing
Yeah,
to
I
go.
think that would help her out a great deal.
Yeah,
no problem with that.
All right, did we vote?
No,
no,
And
I seconded
Yeah.
that.
what about pay for that?
That's combined with the treasurer's job. If, is that not clear in the motion? Because,
do you want me to restate the motion
yeah,
for you?
read the motion.
So I made a motion to appoint Sharon, I'm gonna write this down again, as the small s secretary, along with her treasurer position,
At the same pay.
at the same pay.
Let's
At
say,
the same
at-
previous pay?
let's say-
Because
At the
that
same-
let's
would be
say
an 8%
no
increase.
additional pay.
Same pay as,
Or-
With the
Of-
increase.
Yeah.
With the
with
increase.
the increase, which is gonna be, Sharon makes $13.90, which will be $15.01. That's my motion.
or,
Yeah, per hour.
Okay, now read it again.
To appoint Sharon as the small secretary, as the small s secretary, along with her treasurer duties at the same pay rate
Of 15.
with increase of the, from what we gave her, the 8%, at the rate of $15.01 an hour.
Your second still good?
I second the motion.
Anybody else got any questions? Yeah,
Thank you. No,
Oh.
thank you.
Oh,
all right, vote,
Doug,
Yes.
Eddie,
yep.
Mike,
yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion passed.
Okay, now we are on, we already discussed the chief of police. That's C and E, code enforcement. Everybody understand what happened there? Alright,
Building code.
fire marshal, we are not going to take any action on that tonight.
No, I move that we name Eric Graham. You
Okay,
can always, if you decide you want to do away with that ordinance, then we wouldn't have that position.
okay.
So
So you're making a motion, Doug?
I move that we name Eric Graham position fire marshal.
Do we have a second? No second? Motion will die for lack of a second.
Need to read the ordinance and see what the ordinance calls for. I think it says supervisor shall appoint.
I don't think it's in here.
Not the ordinance.
Fire marshal's a new ordinance.
Excuse me?
Fire marshal's a new ordinance, it's not in any of our books.
I don't know what you guys have in for Eric Graham.
We don't have anything in there.
Obviously. The guy that doesn't get paid for what he's doing, he couldn't do it while he was here.
I'll second the motion. One plus, we can put it up for a vote.
Okay. So we got a motion on the table to appoint Eric Graham as fire marshal and a second by Mike. And any discussion?
Can I say something?
Yeah,
I did agree with Doug back there to talk with Eric, so I guess I should have made the second before that. That was my fault. I will talk with Eric and we can appoint him as far as this goes, and then we can go on with the ordinance later as far as I see,
so,
at a later date. But I will talk to him
Yeah.
about.
I just had a question, isn't it redundant since he's already a state fire marshal?
Well, that's the question we
Yeah,
had, and what we really can't,
We can't take any action.
We can't
We can't really, I mean,
Because by you appointing him to something he already is for the state.
yeah.
There's additional duties that
Yeah.
township
That's-
imposes upon him.
that's why I wanna go talk with him. I wanna sit down and talk with him. That was
we
what.
need to understand what's in the ordinance and how the duties
some things obviously being new, we're gonna have to figure out as we go, and that's one of them, so. But I agreed with Doug to sit down and talk with him, and I'm sure everybody else will too, so.
Any other questions?
Is that like him coming out, if I'm burning a building that's standing, he can come out and give me a fine or something?
Not be code enforcement.
Well, he's
I
still a
don't-
fire marshal. Cause I remember a story, and I wish I remember who told it, cause I would bring their name up. They said they called the township or somebody, and they said they had the permission to burn on their property, but they ended up coming out, I think it was the fire marshal ended up coming out and giving them a fine.
You've been to state police fire marshal.
I can't remember, Doug. If I did
That's it.
remember
I
the
don't
whole
know.
story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that's why I elected people, I don't want to enforce no ordinances on me, that's why I
Okay.
kind of voted for this crew here.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna check into it, though, we have to do everything a certain way, Rod, and,
I understand, but I'm just asking.
yeah, no.
If he becomes a fire marshal and I'm burning brush out there.
He's already fire marshal.
The township or whatever, well, if he's already fire marshal, why do we need him?
He's already the township fire marshal. He's been that for the last.
Okay,
Well, that's what we're gonna talk with him about, his duties. We don't really understand his job, so
okay.
that's what we're gonna sit down and talk with him about. So we gotta at least give him the benefit.
I'm
I'm gonna do that with every person that's in this
Doug,
township.
it has nothing to do with Eric Graham, it has to do with anybody coming on my property.
Right, I
I don't
understand.
care if it's my dad.
Right.
I understand.
Don't come on my property, Dad, tell me what I can burn and can't burn.
Right.
I understand,
But
but
it has
I,
nothing to do with Eric Graham, I know Eric like Eric.
yep.
Yeah.
But my position on everything, Rod, is there's not one person in this township that doesn't deserve a voice. Everybody comes in here and wants to say something, whether I agree with it or not, is gonna get a voice in this township. That's what I was voted in to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. Period. That's my belief. So I'm gonna give the man that courtesy. I was asked to, and I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table
And a second.
In a second.
and a second to appoint Eric Graham. Are there any other questions on the fire marshal issue? Okay,
How you vote? Doug?
Yes.
Ed?
I'll let you know in a minute.
Mike?
Yes.
Kathy?
No.
I vote no.
Thank you.
I
And we
just-
have, you're saying that in the ordinance it has, I don't understand.
I think the ordinance says that we shall appoint one. Means you have an ordinance to have one, you need to appoint
Yeah,
one.
all-
When the ordinance goes away, then your position goes away.
Okay, so I'll say yes for now.
Okay. Motion passed, 3-2.
Okay. Again, dissension is good. All right, where are we at? Code enforcement we covered.
You're on F.
F, building code official.
There.
Did we
Is
get
there any
any?
others? Sharon got this.
Doug, am I correct that, gee, the name went out of my head.
Currently, that
we have
guy's
none right now, right?
resigning, right?
North Tremaine resigned.
Yeah.
And we accepted it
So you have
as
to
of
look at
the.
these.
As of today, right?
As last of the year.
It's the end of the year.
That's,
That's Keystone.
what is the Keystone thing? This is in, where we on?
We're on
Building
building
code,
code.
so that would be, we got a letter from,
That's not, that's it.
That's it. So we have a letter here from David D. Martin. This letter is to express my interest in the position of BCO and residential inspector for your township. I currently maintain the state certifications required for this position. I'm currently working for both West Findlay and East Findlay townships in that capacity. Both of these positions are on a part-time basis, and I also work for West Findlay full-time on the road crew. I am not a certified third-party agency, and as such, or I am not a certified third-party agency, and as such must be listed as an employee of the township. Currently, both townships that I function in this position pay me differently. East Findlay pays me the collected fees, and West Findlay pays me an hourly rate with part-time benefits. At this time, those fees for East Findlay are set
By me,
by me
yeah.
on an annual basis, and the hourly rate for West Findlay matches my current hourly rate for my full-time position with West Findlay, with each inspection billed at a 2-hour charge.
He can also do commercial and also residential.
Yeah, I have spoke with him. His rate is $20 an hour. I did verify that because when he sent the letter, it did not come with, he does not hold a commercial inspection. He holds the BCO number 29, he holds 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, which are all your residential. We can sub out to, he uses K2.
We had the exact same issue here a few years ago when we didn't have our own BCO. We had to go out and had to get a third-party agency.
Correct.
And that's why we ended up going with North Maine, because they were a one-package deal. And,
That was the only letter that we got, if you
I
know.
reached out to a few BCOs. I actually went down the list, which is on the state
well, for some
website.
reason, a lot of people don't want to work for Donegal. You guys tell me why. But
We've heard of you, though.
yeah,
He's willing
I
to-
guess so. I guess
So
so.
he's willing to, he can do residential. He's willing to go back and get his,
My only issue would be hiring him without a number on K2,
Yeah, you can't. You don't have a package here.
you don't have a package, so I think he needs to, I know him, he's actually
I know him too.
He's
Nice
actually
guy.
West Virginia,
Yeah.
or West Findlay supervisor too, I think.
I think so.
I think he knows what he's doing, but I think we should, if we can, table it until he can give us some prices on what they charge.
Well, how do we proceed tomorrow on people that want to build?
What do you have in the pipe? Why don't you appoint him just to be a residential guy and then hold off, get your commercial next? Is there anything in the?
Commercial,
Hire him as an employee? You
I don't
recommend
know,
that?
whatever.
I don't know what it said.
yeah, but
Well,
what would the part-time be benefits there?
Do the residential first, and then deal with the commercial later. Is there anything coming in right now? Is there anything in?
Not that we know.
No, you don't know that when something's not gonna start tomorrow.
Okay, let's,
we have to ask the old
In fact,
BCO.
Okay,
they're putting a roof on out here.
I don't know.
okay,
10
could
degrees.
we,
Who's your BCO now?
He resigned.
he resigned. Could we hire him and put a clock on it?
What do you mean? Like a.
We could hire him till
like
the end of
a,
February.
What do they call it?
I mean, 99% of anything that happens in this township.
It's gotta be residential.
It's gotta be residential.
Karen has a question.
Okay, here's the thing though. We are, okay, wait.
We're gonna do questions after the motion.
Hang on a second.
Here's my thing is, as a building code official, his job is not to actually be the inspector. His job is to oversee the program. Am I correct with that, Chris? As a building code
He's supposed to be the
official.
one that hands out your permits.
Well, he's the one that handles the permits, but anytime an inspection's needed, he's the one, he organizes that whole ordeal within, like, you know, because there's people out there that are just BCOs, that don't hold an inspection at all, that don't hold any
I mean,
certification.
as far as electrical inspection, from what I've done in the past, everybody comes and gets you get your own electrical inspection when you get your building. So he can do what we need him to do as far as the residential part, and that is 99%. I don't think, I would say we'd invite him to the next township meeting and have him give a little more clear consensus of what he's gonna charge. Obviously, if he's charging $20 an hour, he's not overly charging. So I think as a temporary, can we do it on a 2-month basis until
Yeah,
we?
why do you think I said to hire him? I didn't say hire him. He says he's gonna bill you at a 2-hour charge.
Yeah.
I thought I read it, or I thought you read it.
Ed read something in there
He
about.
said
That's how he gets paid.
That's how he gets paid from other townships.
Right.
The one township He actually works for
Yeah, well,
But I actually talked to the state building code official, who is Ron Engler. And he actually said that your building code official, what he does is if he doesn't hold a certification, it's his job. That's the job of he's an official. He's not the actual inspector, but as an official, he makes sure that he can line up the people that need to be lined up for what is needed to do the building permit. He's just the one that's gonna oversee that. Now, but he also in turn holds all the residential. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
so when a building permit comes in and he has one and he doesn't have a commercial, why can't he come to the board and ask,
I need
hey,
to get somebody.
I need to get somebody, what's your opinion? At that point, we could bring it back. I mean, that's
Yeah.
my thoughts.
There was questions out there.
Darren was first.
It was answered.
Huh? It was answered.
It was answered.
All I was gonna ask was a couple things. He said he gets paid two different ways.
Yeah.
One is an employee and one is part of the fees,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
So couldn't you just hire him like that as part of the fees on an as-needed basis? In other words, if there's no work for him, he's not an
He didn't
employee,
get
he doesn't
paid.
get paid. If there's work,
Yeah.
right.
he's hired on an as-needed
I
basis.
agree,
gets
I
paid
agree,
on
but I
the
still
fees.
say until we talk to him, I think we should just put a clock on it. You
Well,
know,
why
put
don't you do this? You guys should do whatever you think is best for the township. So
Well,
the
I think
issue
Doug's
is,
right,
wait a
we
minute.
need somebody for,
The issue is you don't have anybody right now. You
Right.
need to get something in
He's
there.
at least a
Why don't you
BCO.
call it a probationary period
Yeah.
for 90 days? And see if you can work out a good system. Figure out what it is over the next 90 days.
okay.
Or maybe he can get his, how long does it take to get your commercial?
Which way is he asking
Certification.
for to be paid in there?
He said either way. I mean, I've spoke to him. He let me know that there's two ways, and I said, well, I didn't know how much, because you forgot to put that in the letter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he said he gets paid $20 an hour. That's his hourly rate within the
Yeah.
West Finley. You know what I mean? So
Well-
what they do is when
But it's
he goes
$20
out,
an hour with partial benefits, so I don't know what that means.
I
That's
don't know
my,
what that means
that's my
either.
issue, so I'm kinda leaning towards what JD's saying on a percentage of the fees. Because obviously, like I said, at $20 an hour, he's not,
And it's a 2-hour minimum.
right. So I would just go with the fees, I think it's correct. And
If you would put him on as an employee, does that not make the township responsible for any errors or any problems he comes into?
that's why you go the other route, what JD's saying.
right, yeah, that's right,
Yeah, I
He
think,
he has liability insurance and all that stuff. Where's that talk about? You can't hire a guy without the third-party contractor without a liability insurance.
that's what he tells you. He's not a third party. So then,
He is a third party.
No, actually, that is what he's saying.
I'm not a
he's
certified.
That's what he's
not a
saying.
certified third party. That's exactly what he said.
So he's
That's why
saying he does need to be hired to get under your
Right.
insurance.
Correct, that's the issue. So, you know,
Can I ask also, I had just read, okay, in fact, it was in township, that townships are now required to provide a list of 3 certified third-party. That's what
the UCC, because we've adopted the UCC code, you have to follow the UCC, and by that, you have to have a building code official.
it said. I know that.
And your building code official then handles the whole program. It's not something that we, you know, I've talked extensively with the state about this. I mean,
hiring these people, from what I'm understanding, because I don't know a whole lot about it, other than whenever I was in construction, when the inspector came in, he signed off on a paper hanging below. On the building permit. On the permit.
correct.
And when that was done, that got handed back to the township, and they got an occupancy permit saying that all the inspections was done. Why don't we just find all these inspectors, put a list of names and numbers for the people that's getting these building
That's his
permits
job.
and let them handle it? That's his job.
That's what he does. So that's exactly correct. What it is he would then know who he can call as inspectors.
But why don't you just put it on there for the people that's buying a permit?
Because I think under the UCC, we have to
They
have.
have to have.
We have to
we
have
have
it.
a BCO.
We have to, it's not a, we don't have a choice.
Right.
Yeah, look, it
I
sounds
mean-
like you're paying somebody to make phone calls where you're paying a secretary. It just seems like a
I
runaround
understand
to me.
that.
We just,
I
we
would
don't
like
have
to
a
make
choice,
it
our
sure
hands
his
are, our
job.
hands are tied in that matter.
But you have to have a BCO, and they They have to hold the certification from the UCC. That's the problem we have. If you don't have the certifications, I mean, he can't look at plans for any commercial. He can't look at, I mean, there's a list. If anybody goes on and researches the UCC and calls the state, it's a very extensive list and it's very long. But but we have to have a BCO.
Basically, when you
For at
get
least a
him,
couple of
you
months
can create
until we
that
get this
form,
hammered out.
Probation.
and you don't have to pay him as much money once that permit's issued. You know, I don't know if he'll work that way. I'm just
I don't-
looking at-
Correct.
Well, and whatever, if we say we're just doing it for a couple months, he may turn it down, but we gotta try something in case somebody wants to go out and build a house in 15 below wind chill.
This is that as an employee of our township. Is that what- That's what you're saying, it to me.
To be covered under.
Can I read that for a quick second?
Mhm. He couldn't be here because he's at his own township meeting.
Hey, Mike,
I've talked to a few, but nobody else
Yeah.
wants to do it.
can I make a suggestion, just read his letter of interest again, maybe how it's worded, because
Okay. You want me to read it?
Go
Ed?
for it.
All right, it's addressed Donegal Township Supervisors. This letter is to express my interest in the position of BCO and residential inspector for your township. I currently maintain the state certifications required for this position. I am currently working for both West Findlay and East Findlay Townships in that capacity. Both of these positions are on a part-time basis, and I also work for West Findlay full-time on the road crew. I am not a certified third-party agency, and as such must be listed as an employee of the township. Currently, both townships that I function in this position pay me differently. East Findlay pays me the collected fees, and West Findlay pays me an hourly rate with part-time benefits. At this time, those fees for East Findlay are set by me on an annual basis